Okay, very lucky to have Frank from Anthrax on the phone with me right now. Frank, thanks for taking my call.
Well, thank you for having the time for me. I appreciate it. I'm here to promote the new record, For All Kings, out February 26th. This has been a great look. We're talking to a lot of Australian radio stations and press, so we cannot wait to get back there. So we want everybody to know about this record, and we're just ready to rock. And we think it's our heaviest record. The reviews have been coming in, and it's been 100% across the board. People are loving it and saying, to say after 30 years, this is our best work yet, I'll take that anytime. So we're pretty excited right now.
Yeah, and as you should be. I'll keep your batting average up with 100% because I love it too.
Wow, thank you so much. I didn't know that. Thank you so much.
No worries at all. Now, just backtracking initially, on a personal level, except for a small period a couple of years ago, you've been in the band for a long time. What's that ride been like?
Yes, sir. It's been a ride. It's funny because you know what happens when you're in the band for 30-something years? You look at pictures, people have magazines from when you were in and all that stuff, the old school stuff, and it's a scrapbook of your life. It really is what it is. The records become scrapbooks of your life, but you remember when you hear a record from the 1 year earlier record, you remember the recording of it, where you were in life. Yeah. It's a great reflection to do that, but it's been a great run. I have nothing to complain. I've been very, very fortunate, and I'm very humbled and thankful for it. I'm thankful every day that I get to do this for a living. I know how fortunate I am. I think we all know that. That's why we're so passionate about it.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, Anthrax, at least from here on the other side of the world, helped define the East Coast influence on the, at the time, up-and-coming thrash scene. What was it like being involved in that right from the start? Like, what was it like on the inside?
It was literally, it was the unknown is what it was, to be really honest. Imagine all you have is this fire in the belly that you want to get out, and you want to meet that with music. It really is that. And there was no name for it back then. It was just heavy metal music. It was just heavy stuff that we had to get it out. And it was that. So as far as defining, we didn't know what it was. It was just there. And I guess with the other bands, from around the country, just doing it and around the world, it became this thing. And all you can do is what you do, right? You know what I mean? You're responsible for your own thing. So then it became a lot of people, other bands doing it, and that made total sense and became this thrash movement. And thankfully, it's around. It's still around, and it's stronger than ever. Thankfully.
How important was MTV in the band's career in the 80s? Did it help, or was it a distraction?
Well, we don't know about that because they very rarely played us. I mean, they used to have this show called Headbangers Ball. They played us once in a while. But we were never a MTV band, to say the least. What MTV did, actually, what I think MTV did is hurt the music business because whenever bands that they chose to play sold millions of records and became very popular in the world, the country and the world. And that is what it is. But we were always very hardworking road dogs. We stayed on the road, and that's how we made our fan base. And thankfully, we connected with our audiences that way because we didn't have that opportunity to do it, to get on there. I mean, they literally chose the bands and some executives, whoever the executives at MTV were, and for me, I didn't agree with a lot of those bands, so it wasn't my thing. I like songs that weren't. There's a lot of people just writing songs to get on MTV.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never done that. That would never happen with a band like Anthrax.
Good answer. How difficult was the decision to part? How difficult was the decision to part with Joey in '92?
Well, I think any kind of departure is hard. That was really a business move. But not even. We don't even. I don't even think about that now. I think Joey now is stronger in the band than he's ever been.
Yeah.
You've heard the record, right?
Yeah. I love it. I reckon he sounds fantastic.
Yeah, dude, and I'm just going to be as honest as I can be with you right now. I think the guy, Joey Belladonna, is at the top of his game singing on any Anthrax record. And I'm not just promoting our new record. I'm telling you as a fan, because I am a fan of this music. I think Joey Belladonna is at the top of his game singing. Quite honestly, I think the band is really, I think we know who we are. Not only as songwriters, I think as musicians, and I think everything's clicking, thankfully, on all cylinders right now. So that's why I think you have For All Kings, and I think that's why I'm excited. It's like a kid in a candy store right now, man. I can't wait for people to hear this. Because if they like the first couple of songs that come out, man, I just can't wait to play these other songs. I honestly can't.
Right, let's talk about the new album. And talk more about Joey. I love his vocals on this new album.
Great. I do too. Thank you. I'll say thank you for Joey. Yeah, I do too. I'm a fan, dude. I have to say this. I'm a fan of this music. So when it's done the way it's done here, I really feel strongly about saying it. You know, I'm really psyched about it. And
these are great songs. Who wrote all this great metal? Who do we have to thank for writing all this?
We all did. I mean, the process is Scott, Charlie, and I get together in a room, and we get a lot of skeleton ideas together. We periodically get together, and then I call it the baking of the cake of a song of Anthrax. So we put the song together pretty much, then the melodies would come in. I happen to write a lot of the melodies, and Scott writes the lyrics, and it comes in. Charlie starts a lot of riffs for us musically, and then Scott and myself will come in with riffs, and then we'll put the melodies and then the lyrics, and that's the cake of the Anthrax song. And then we live with it, and now we write it, and then we live with it and have to sit with it for a while and keep listening to it over and over and go away from it for a little while and come back and make sure everything is right. Because if it's not, we'll edit it and put the right parts in and take the parts that weren't working out. It's a good process, but it's a long process. But at the end of the day, you want the best music and the best song you could, and it makes all sense to do that.
Yeah, now you talked about the process there. Is it getting easier these days with all the technology, or is the technology just creating a monster?
Yeah, well, I think a little of both. Here's the deal. The way Anthrax works, the three of us have to get together to jam. Charlie, Scott, and myself, to feel it. You know what you have, and you have to nod to each other. You know that feeling. If you don't have that, you can't really go on from it. You could send each other demos and stuff like that through email and stuff. That works for demos. But when you really need to get together to really put the songs together and make it work and make it an Anthrax song. Otherwise, it's just it would never work just technology wise. It's got to have soul. It's got to have that. It's got to have heart. It's got to have that fire in your belly. You know it. It's that vibe you create. The energy that you create together really is. It's the core of everything.
Another good answer. Now, John Denney.
Thank you.
John Denney on lead guitar now. Beautiful, tasteful playing. Tell us about him.
Oh yeah. He's just awesome. What a great addition to the band. He's my drinking buddy. He's stepped up in the biggest of ways. My thing is always telling a story. A great lead always tells a story. John's not only a great lead player, like he could burn with the best of them, but man, he could tell a story in his leads. And I love that more than anything. I've always been a fan of John's. I've been friends with John for a while back, and when he came in the band, I knew I liked Shadows Fall and all that. I was a fan of that band, the old band. But my God, when he came in Anthrax, I think he elevated. It really shocked me, the stuff he was coming up with. I had to rewind because I was so genuinely into it. And that's why I'm so excited about the record, man. There's a lot of different things for different people, for everybody on this record.
I found myself doing that too when I was listening to the album, just like backtracking certain like licks that he's doing, thinking, "Wow, that just fits so perfectly."
And it does, and I'm just excited for John, because I think a lot of people will find out about John how great he really is. And it's fun to play with him live because he does everything to the T live. He's just an incredible musician. He's our ace in the hole kind of thing with that. I'm really excited for people to hear that with John's doing.
Mm. Now, I read that he grew up as a big-time Anthrax fan, and now he's in the band.
Yeah.
Is he keeping the inner fanboy under control?
He plays, John he's one of us. It's so seamless, and when I tell you, man, it's just really easy. Part of this whole thing with being in the band is getting along really easy, aside from the stage and the music. And he just fits right in with us. He's sarcastic. He's got a great wit about him. He's just a fun dude to hang out with, and that means a lot. So I think he fits right in. And so I don't think there's any kind of fanboy stuff. He's one of us. That's the way I feel about it.
Good man. Now, Blood Eagle Wings, 8 minutes long. That's an epic. Tell us about that one.
Well, it's funny you mentioned this song, and that's my current. I go weekly. What's my favorite song of the week? Because thankfully I can listen to this record, and that's what I hope that people will connect with it, and people I've heard that connected with it. They have a different song weekly that they like. That's their favorite. Currently this week, Blood Eagle Wings is my favorite. It's just an epic sounding song. I remember Charlie coming in with that riff, the initial riff, and it took, this song took a while to write because there were so many different parts, and just making sure everything worked the right way and the right feel for the whole length of the song. Because, look, at the end of the day, you can't try to just edit songs. It has to feel and it has to flow. This song flowed, man, from the beginning. It kind of took its own life. It had its own life. It's kind of just flowed. And let me tell you, man, I think it's one of those epic. I call this the sleeper of the record. This song, because I think when people hear it, they see 8 minutes. Oh my God! But when they actually hear the song, if you're a music fan, I think it's got something for everybody in that song, man. And I just think it's one of those things like, wow, I'm going to go back to that song. I'm going to go back to that song again. It happens because I've had the record for a while, and it's just so catchy. There's so many parts to it, and you just want to dig in more to it. It really is. So I'm a really big fan of that song. It's hard talking about. Let me just say, it's hard talking about songs because these songs are like your kids. You know what I mean? It's so like you can't talk like you have one favorite than the other kid. So it's so hard to define what you like about one song. It keeps going. That's why I'm really psyched about the Anthrax record, just because it has so many different elements for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think there's a lot. So that's why it's really hard to choose one, and I'm happy to say that, quite honestly.
Awesome. Now, going out on the road, when are you going? Where are you going?
When am I going? I'm on the road.
On the road now.
We've been, I'm on currently in Dallas, Texas, backstage. I thought you heard the drums in the background.
No, I didn't actually.
Doing press backstage. Yeah, I'm backstage in the dressing room in Dallas, Texas. We are currently on tour with our friends Lamb of God, which has been insane. Packed houses every night, crazy. The new songs are going over. I swear, man. It's funny because you see the new songs going over just as well, if not better than the older stuff. So that's a good sign for the future. And look, we've been at road dogs again. We just finished Europe with Slayer for 7 weeks, October, November, December. We had a few weeks off. Then we started this, and then we have 13 days off. And then we start South America with the mighty Iron Maiden, which I'm completely psyched for.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
And we get to travel on their plane, which is really, as a fan, we get to travel on their plane. So I'm more excited than anything for that. So
that is so cool.
It's a great thing. Yeah, for me, it's a fanboy moment. And being friends with these guys too. It's just a fun thing, man.
That is so cool. Absolutely so cool. Frank, absolutely magnificent talking to you today. I really like to thank you for taking the time to take my call. New album out on February 26th. Absolute monster of an album. Good luck with everything to do with that and everything to do with Anthrax. And we hope to see you back here in Australia soon.
I can't wait to get out there. We're ready and willing. Believe me, we want to make it a plan. So we're waiting for the promoters to call us. We'll be there. We love it there. So thank you for all the support, and I hope to see you very soon.
Excellent. Thanks for talking to us, Frank. You have a good day.
All right. Be well. Thank you.